Let's go next to our caller from the 347 area code. Who's calling today from 347?
Hello, is this me?
Yes, it is. Who's this?
This is Alex from Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, Alex, what's up?
So I had two things on my mind. One is sort of my opinion. One I wanted to ask for yours, and they're both an opinion. They're both related to impeachment rather than Iran.
Sure.
So the first thing I wanted to talk about was this idea from Democrats, sort of like this, examination of this impeachment that, as this thing will progress and maybe afterwards, Americans will kind of look back on this and think, oh my goodness, how could we support Trump? Like, what is going on? Like, we fell to this ideology and the sort of fear mongering that led us to vote for Trump, when in reality, in my opinion, we're going to have something more of the lines of how people look at the Civil War, in the sense of that there's still a population in this country that still thinks that the Civil War was, northern aggression, or it's about, disruption of state rights and whatnot.
That's interesting. So if I understand correctly, what you're saying is no matter what happens during the Trump administration with Iran or with anything else, eventually there will be people who will see Trump as this great hero, much like you still have people who see the Civil War as being about states' rights rather than about slavery or whatever. Like, there will always be a contingent that sees it that way.
Yes, when I see kids at Trump rallies, cheering him on, I feel like many years from now they'll tell their kids Trump was the greatest president ever, whether it's ends in 10 months or 4.5 years, but
I don't think that you're wrong. I think
Yeah.
maybe you're overstating the importance that Trump is going to have historically. I mean, I hope so. I hope that historically Trump will be seen as an aberration, but that people won't talk about him that much one way or the other, much the same way that a lot of presidents aren't really discussed very much today. But the more erratic his behavior, of course, the more likely that he does remain a topic of conversation. But it's an interesting point of view for sure. The idea that there's always going to be, at the same time, though, if you think back to William Howard Taft, is there a contingent that goes around idolizing Taft today? He just kind of become not a big factor. Maybe Trump would be the same, although certainly he would ideally be seen as an aberration no matter how long it goes.
I hope as well.
Yeah.
And the second point that I want to bring up actually does relate to the impeachment trials, but it also has something to do with Iran. So I was watching one of your videos about Tucker Carlson talking about how, we shouldn't be in this war with Iran, so on and so forth. And he mentioned John Bolton as a non-genius. And, to a certain point, I agree with him on that.
Yeah.
But in his commentary, he sort of, dismisses John Bolton. And I was wondering if you think he might be playing this sort of side role of dismissing John Bolton, because in the case that he does somehow end up testifying in the Senate, although it's unlikely, we can play off as, oh, this guy, he's a warmonger. And, even though I don't believe he had anything to do with Iran, he, on the other hand, could be dismissed as just another warmonger, and his testimony is worth little to nothing.
I don't think that that's Tucker's motivation. If anything, it's just that Tucker has always had disagreements with John Bolton because John Bolton is very interventionist and Tucker Carlson has an anti-interventionist streak. I don't think it's nearly as calculated as you're suggesting. Alex, thank you so much. Great to hear from you. I do have to move on to other callers, and I hope to hear from you again.